So David, we're entering to the end of 2020, a point in time where there's a lot up for grabs in terms of our trading relationship with the rest of the world, and where we'll find ourselves with the European Union and also with deals with other countries. How does a change in trading relationship with this country affect your business or concern you?
I think, well, the single most important thing is there's a lot going to go on here, but what you're looking at here is this is my suckler herd. This is suckler beef. It is a fantastic way to produce beef, and if we look at the way in which beef is produced around the world, we don't particularly like that in the UK. We don't like the way in which it's done because it impacts on the environment so much and the way in which it's done. So these cattle are actually helping the environment, and it's the way nature intended it. And I think people in the UK genuinely want this type of product, that they know it has the standard that everybody wants, the high welfare, the environmental benefits, and the production, the way in which we produce it is really important. So what we've got to make sure is that any trade deal, imports have to come to this standard, and if they can't come to this standard, then we shouldn't accept it, because what we mustn't do is export this wonderful way of production to somewhere like the US, where you'd have huge feedlots, a cereal-based diet, and the environmental impact of that. Whereas these cattle are eating grass. That's what they do best. They're capturing carbon at this very moment in time. They're eating this rotational lay, and this is the 6th time they've been out here this season, and that's the 6th time this grass is sucking in all that carbon. So these are actually doing a really good job, and the way in which we produce them, using the grass as their main ingredient in their diet. They're still on their mothers. They were born in the spring. They won't get weaned until November. The cows have pretty much had enough of them then, and it's just a really good way to produce really good quality protein beef, and looking after the environment at the same time. And we mustn't export that and import something of a lesser standard. And that goes across the board with our UK production of all our products.
Yeah,
so that's the message for me, Will.
No, there's a huge amount clearly to be proud of with the stock you've got here and the way you manage the landscape up here in the Cotswolds. If you had a message to, obviously a lot of our MPs are considering how this looks for this country and what it means for farming businesses. If you had a message for your MP on this issue and what you're doing here, what would it be?
Yeah, I think my message would be quite simple: is just look at what you've got around you, and the reason it's there is because we manage this environment, and these cattle are managing this environment, and I'm doing that. And if this is not sustainable because cheap imports come in to a lesser standard and undercut what I'm doing, and I can no longer do this, you lose all the benefits, not just of the high quality produce that we're producing here, but the environmental benefits and the landscape that everyone enjoys. I mean, you just look around you, it's fantastic, but this isn't a wild environment as people might think it is. This is a managed environment, and we all enjoy that, and we should we should be encouraged to do that. We're looking after the environment, and the schemes that we're doing here, really important. It all works together. You can't just have environment, you have to have food production in amongst that, and it can work really well hand in hand. And my message to them is, look at what you've got, because you could very easily get rid of it, and it would be such a shame, detrimental to all of us.